Okay, so here is a little summary of our trip to Lofoten. This is that little dingy thing on top of Norway to the west. Obviously, the first order of business was a heel flip in a little town called Svolvaer, where we stayed most of the time. And even though it was sunny most of our stay here, I decided to actually film some little videos from the town when it wasn't. And then on the last day, I climbed the Fløya mountain, which is the highest peak right above the town, and these are the views you can see from there. But of course that's not all. Another thing that I really wanted to do here was to go to A, which is just the letter A with a little circle on top of it, and this is the last town on this archipelago. It's at the very end of it, it's the end of the road, you can't go any further by car. So we drove to there, it's about 2 hours from here, and I heel flipped on the pier, which is practically the last concrete element in that town. So just thinking about heel flipping the end of the world or the edge of the world, and yes, that's what I did. Next to that, I did some cold water swimming, both on Stranda, which is a very good beach, very wide and very easily accessible, and on Kvalvika, which is a little bit more difficult to get to, and you need to hike for quite some time. It is still worth it though, so if you're ever here, that should be on your list for sure. First, I made it to the top of the mountain right above Kvalvika and sat down on this little ledge here and also pretended to hold on to it. But obviously there was something below that's conveniently cut out of the picture. Then I went to the beach, and as the clouds were spreading and the sun was a little bit lower, that view was one of the most beautiful things that I've seen this year. So obviously I went into the water, and just lying there on the water floating a little bit, I realized that I'm floating in the actual Arctic, because we're well above the Arctic Circle. It felt nice, it felt like all the effort that I'm putting into all of these things that I'm doing, and there's just so many of them, and I came up with 3 more on this trip alone. But all of this makes sense and I really love it. It's basically, the travel is a counterbalance to all that hard work, and obviously it's only possible because of that hard work. And then on another day I went to Skagsanden, which is a whole surfing camp which has a sauna and a bar and a restaurant and a lot of tents and campers and everything. And I had one of the best surfing sessions of my life. Didn't record most of it because that's not really the point of having a good surfing session, to just constantly think about the camera. So here's just one simple clip of me testing out the board on the whitewash near the shore on the very first wave. But it was so beautiful and so awesome to do this, and having that feeling of the wave carrying you forward towards the beach, that I'm gonna be doing surfing a lot more this year. Probably in Portugal though, not necessarily in the Arctic. But it was magical being on the board and just looking around you and seeing those huge mountain peaks everywhere, and the water color was unbelievable, those white beaches, just beautiful. It was like a truly magical experience that's really something that if you like surfing or just doing anything in the water, it's also really good to do. And the reason for this trip and for staying a week here was mostly for me to kind of look back at the past year and think about what I could do better, how I could provide better for the people that I'm helping, but also how I can provide better for myself in terms of the mental balance and mental clarity and kind of enjoying life, because there are moments on this journey where I feel overwhelmed and I feel a little bit depressed, not in a big way, don't worry, but I feel sometimes that I'm like mentally extremely tired. And what adds to this obviously is also people constantly stealing my work and pretending it's theirs, which is kind of frustrating, but I learned to live with it. So going forward this year, I'm gonna be calmer and definitely happier, because I'm already on the right path towards that, with the right people around me and the right landscapes and the freedom to just pack up and go for a month explore Norway. This is beautiful, and I'm gonna see you in the next video in Stockholm. Have a great day.